Please subscribe to Face TV Africa and turn the notification on. Face TV Africa, ẹ jọ̀ọ́, subscribe, hete.
Face TV was Swoby.
Nigerian Union dispute emanating from grave constitutional grievances. A milestone report on the implementation of the December 16, 2020 constitutional force majeure and direction for the future. This is a test of the statement at this World Press Conference, August 17, 2021, by the Nigerian Indigenous Nationalities Alliance for Self-Determination, NINAS, at the expiration of the 120-day period of consultations which commenced on April 17, 2021. The theme of the report is Taking Back Our Sovereignty, a declaration of victory over the fraud of 1999. Come to the close of the 120-day period of consultations which commenced on the 17th day of April 2021 in the measured implementation of force majeure. We invite the community on the tremendous progress that has been made in giving effect to the will of the peoples of Nigeria, which had for so long been suppressed by the forces of oppression and retrogression. Recall that following the December 16, 2020 constitutional force majeure proclamation, a sovereignty dispute was declared by the Nigerian Indigenous Nationalities Alliance for Self-Determination, NINAS, grounds of grave constitutional grievances, and a 5-point was made on the federal of Nigeria with a 90-day period commencement of irreversible towards the remediation of the said grievances. The full text of the proclamation was published as an advertorial. And that on pages 38, 40, and 41. For the ease of reference, it is good that we recall that the 5 points of demand proclamation are: 1. Formal announcement by the government of Nigeria and the constitutional grievances and sovereignty dispute which was declared by the peoples of the South and the Middle Belt of Nigeria. A commitment by the federal government of Nigeria to the wholesale jettisoning of the 1999 Constitution as the basis of the Federation of Nigeria, as was done by the government of the apartheid-era Union of South Africa in 1990, process by which the apartheid constitution of the then South Africa was eased out. So this is not something new. It is not a novelty. A formal announcement by the federal government of Nigeria suspending further general elections the disputed 1999 Constitution, since the winners of such elections will swear to and govern by that Constitution. So by that declaration of December 2020, that Constitution ceases to exist. And on the basis of that must be clear. Any election going forward is null, void, ultra vires, no constitutional is dead. A formal invitation to the peoples of the South and the Middle Belt of Nigeria, we shall work out and replace and emplace transitional authority, and we shall specify the modalities for the transitioning process of the transitional authority, as well as the time frame for the transitioning and other auxiliary matters. 5. A formal initiation of a time-bound transitioning process to midwife the emergence of fresh constitutional protocols by a two-stage process in which the constituent regional blocks will, at the first stage, distill and ratify their various constitutions by referendum and plebiscites. And then in the second stage, negotiate the terms of federating afresh as may be dictated by the outcomes of the referendum and plebiscites. Key. Recall that also that at the expiration of the 90-day period, NINAS addressed a world press conference in Ibadan on March 17, 2020, at which it announced a 30-day period of consultations with government officials of NINAS allied territory, and which expired on April the 6th. Also recall that on the 17th day of April 2021, NINAS announced the commencement of another period of 120 days of consultations with the peoples of Nigeria, as well as the critical stakeholders segment of the international community, which period came to a close on August the 16th, 2021. We are glad to report to you, our people, and the international community today, the 17th day of August 2021, the spectacular success of the joint multi-regional constitutional force majority in its main objective of defeating and peacefully easing out the imposed, toxic, and fraudulent 1999 constitution upon which the distressed Federation of Nigeria is presently constructed. This victory over the fraud of 1999 is the first major step towards the recovery and reinstatement of the component trapped in the union of death that Nigeria has become for all that defeated. In order to understand victory, we are 1999 Constitution, and for the benefit of those who may not have followed developments in the polity since December 16, 2020, force majority, it's significant to note that, one, in the 90-day period of notice to federal government of Nigeria, the attempt to resort to the back route of constitutional amendments as response to the sovereignty dispute raised by NINAS was rejected countrywide, as NINAS and other major stakeholders, including some government, insisted that the 1999 Constitution was a total fraud that could not be cured by amendments, and more importantly, that the legislative mandate of the National Assembly is law-making and does not extend to constitution making. It is not a constitution drafting assembly. That botched attempt is by itself an acknowledgement of the incurable foundational flaw of the 1999 Constitution. In the 30-day period of consultations, governors elected officials in the Alliance territory, the government of Nigeria, in an unprecedented move, never before has it ever happened in the history of this country, met in Asaba to declare that open grazing will be banned in all states of southern Nigeria. This decision effectively brought the governors of NINA's constitutional authority, as that decision in the Asaba Declaration cannot be effectively carried out without first decommissioning the 1999 Constitution and its federal exclusive legislative list, prohibit the states from issuing firearms to enforce such a ban. In the 120 days of consultations of Nigeria, the indigenous nationalities of Nigeria, of the South and the Middle Belt, in NINA's grant propositions, marched out to the streets in their homes and in capital cities of the world, including Washington, D.C., New York, and London, to loudly assert the right to self-determination and their rejection of the unitary union of death Nigeria has become. For there are people under the fraudulent 1999 constitution. In particular, the Yoruba took their self-determination campaign to the United Nations. The rest of the nations, to the point that the CNN reported this growing push for exit from failed Lugard by the Yoruba, joining the long-standing exit campaign from the Eastern Flank, framed by its proponents as the Biafra agitation. International circuit between April the 28th, 2021, global powers, including the United States, the European Union, and the acted in concert Nigeria to the key prescriptions of the December 16, 2020 constitutional force majeure, and asking that the rulers of Nigeria or Nigeria to put guns aside of Nigeria to distill a constitution. We requested nations on Nigeria at the current 2019, the current constitutional arrangement is now a danger to global peace security, as Nigeria can snap and cause an unprecedented global refugee crisis. Inside this 120-day period, a global caveat by NINAS on the reckless foreign loans by the current federal government of Nigeria saw China canceling a loan of $1 billion United States dollars on Nigeria for the construction of a gas pipeline, while the United States canceled an order for attack helicopters on Nigeria, and the United States Congress followed up with the ban of sale of weapons to Nigeria, following request for such a ban by NINAS under U.S. concerns gross human rights by the regime in Nigeria. It is significant to note that in what seems like a realization and a dawning reality on the Caliphate North, the coalition of northern groups which had since 2017 Igbo quit notice from the north gained notoriety for its belligerence, suddenly realigned its position to the NINA's propositions and prescriptions. The Nigerian question as encapsulated by the NINA's proclamation of 16 that the Nigerian Union has collapsed. B, that we do not have a constitution at the moment, since the imposed 1999 constitution has been repudiated and has been rejected countrywide. C, that the National Assembly cannot, by amendments, cure the fraud called the 1999 constitution, and so must stop its present pretense that all is well with the Nigerian Union. That the National Assembly must halt the current constitutional amendment exercise and genuinely join the search for solutions to the dying Nigerian Union. That a grand meeting of the constituent component has been inevitable, and that the constituent components of Nigeria must at such a meeting first agree to form a union. That is, they must agree to federate before undertaking the task of settling the terms of that union. These somber and profound postulations were made in a recent BBC interview by the spokesperson of the CNG, or the Coalition of Northern Groups, Abdulaziz Suleiman. The link is available on the sheet for you. So, bearing the urgency of the ultra-conservative, the coalitions of northern groups clearly indicate that a countrywide consensus regarding the viable options for the dismantling and grand reconfiguration of the current unworkable unitary union of Nigeria has thus emerged. Happily, the comprehensive framework for undertaking the well-articulated prescriptions of the Coalition of Northern Groups in the aforementioned BBC interview are contained in the December 16, 2020 Constitutional Force Majority Proclamation. The defeat and impending demise of the sets the basis for the liberation of all who were trapped in Nigeria. It is not that the 1999 Constitution is a fraud. Many people clinging tenaciously to that Constitution are the caliphate elements and their surrogates who have imposed it and for the rogue document. The Constitution is a title deed by which they exclusively this vast piece of estate called Nigeria, while the only other people clinging to that 1999 Constitution of debt are the political jobbers and merchants whose humongous benefits flow from the evil Constitution, even as mass poverty grind the rest of the populace they pretend to lead. The press, it is your duty to make Nigerians understand that they are trampled upon a they did not write. When you collect little and let your people suffer, and you believe in God, let me not get emotional, but to seize lacuna, we must. This is not a play issue. I'm sorry, my guys. It is no longer a matter for debate that, God will bless you, that elections are the mechanism by which the life of the 1999 Constitution is renewed every 4 years. You are like, they are dying, they die, we'll carry an election like if it is oxygen, pump them again, and their begins to continues to live when we know ab initio it was born dead. It follows, therefore, that those who are tormented by that Constitution, but who nonetheless accept to go to another round of national elections under that Constitution, like them, the ones renewing and reinforcing their own damnation, bondage, and enslavement. It is now, therefore, a matter of choice whether we want to renew the source of our miseries once again in 2023, or we want to free ourselves by rejecting now, in 2021, the invitation to join in the preparation for another round of national elections is 2023. This circle of renewal is broken if we must be free. The Yoruba say, a stone that one sees does not. Key to breaking the circle of renewal of the life of the 1999 Constitution lies in knowing contest elections and all political parties in Nigeria as part of that evil 99 Constitution. And so, whichever party wins any election, that winner will swear to uphold and defend the 1999 Constitution. It follows that political parties are solely responsible for leading the rest of us to the self-damnation of renewing the life of that 1999 Constitution every 4 years. The political parties have in this regard become the Judas.
Judas goat.
Iscariot.
No.
Judas goat that routinely lead us all to the slaughter. The key to taking down the 1999 Constitution is immediately halting the political parties from dragging us to another round of national elections in 2023. This is not a call to boycott the 2023 elections, but a call to halt the preparations for 2023 inside 2021. You will only boycott when it happens. We are saying, don't even prepare to let it happen. Political parties must now be persuaded to close shop forthwith. Remember Bola Ige? Those 5 parties there. He said they are the 5 fingers of a leprous hand. All political parties now, since there are more than 5, it's like they are like octopuses with hydra heads. With the defeat of the 1999 Constitution by the joint multi-regional action of the Ninas Alliance, the Sharia Caliphate that imposed and holds tightly to that Constitution, as its title did, to own and to control Nigeria, is now confronted by the sudden demise of that their title did. The 1999 Constitution is dead, and is now on a desperate mission to reconquer the rest of Nigeria in order to re-establish ownership and control by conquest outside that defeated title deed. However, to be able to drive through its all-important conquest mission, the Caliphate needs more time in the saddle of Nigeria's political leadership and within the authoritarian powers conferred upon them by the all-powerful 1999 Constitution. So the only way the Caliphate can get that critically required time in power, that is time in the power saddle, is if the Caliphate can drag all of us to the voyage of another round of national elections in 2023 and give them another 4 years of fecundating and sowing our loaf, this bread, buff, until we burst. On the other hand, if we halt the voyage to 2023 inside 2021, the 1999 Constitution will lose its life inside 2021 and into transitioning, and therefore on a referendum for self-determination. Let the Yoruba nation decide who they want to be, who they want to be, who they want to be with. Let them decide who they want to be and who they want to cohort with. Let the Ijo do same. Let Benin do same. Let Urobo do same. We know where we are. We are in a marriage because we want to. Not the arranged forced marriage that done without any of us by a man who we know is, and his name is Lord Frederick Ludka. He's not a Lord. Sorry. This is the safe route to all constituent blocks. Amidst the massive enlightenment campaign going on amongst peoples of the Alliance territory globally, concerning the correlation between the 1999 Constitution, our collective miseries, elections, and political parties, more of our people now know that going to general elections in 2023 under the 1999 Constitution will spell unmitigated disaster, while halting the preparations by political parties for 2023 is guarantee for their freedom, for their escaped freedom. Accordingly, the choice is entirely in our hands. On the side of government, let it be known that it is the specter of 2023 elections that distorts and inhibits most of what would have been appropriate and common sense solutions to the multitudes of seemingly intractable problems of Nigeria. So it be sounded loud and clear that the immediate suspension of preparations towards the general elections in 2023 is the most urgently required first aid to Nigeria that is currently bleeding profusely from all sides. And for every single day this emergency aid is delayed, the risk of catastrophic implosion of Nigeria becomes exponentially increased. So NINA's call to action. NINAS has a 5-point call to action. Knowledge is power. The first task before us all in the period of commencing, that is commencing today, August 17, the year of our Lord 2021, is to help spread this information as well as other related information on the constitutional force majority amongst the peoples of the NINAS Alliance territory, wherever they are on the face of planet Earth. NINAS directs the regional blocks to advance the processing and ratification of their regional constitutions and charters in readiness for the United Nations-backed regional self-determination stay or leave referendums from the distressed Federation of Nigeria. I pause so that it sinks. NINAS requests you to help intensify the signing of the ongoing NINAS referendum petition, by which NINAS December 16, 2023 constitutional force majority proclamation is addressed to the United Nations Security Council, and also support and, where possible, partake in the march at the 76th United Nations General Assembly in September 2021. In this same period commencing August 17, 2021, let the campaign to pursue political parties to forthwith for the reasons outlined therein before be intensified. All the reasons we've outlined previously in this document, it should be intensified. This will also bring us to Domino 2 and the transitioning threshold, precipitating the referendums for sake. When these actions take place, it will have a domino effect that will bring us to the transitioning threshold, which is referendum, referendum, referendum. Let the Yoruba people decide who or who, where, why they want to be, who, where, why, who. Let the Edo people do same. Let the Igbo people do same. Let the Igbo people do same. Let the African people. Let every Nigerian decide whether to continue in this toxic, abiku, born-dead relationship or revive something new. With the defeat of the 1999 Constitution and in the spirit of the transitioning in the December 16, 2020 NINAS Constitutional Force Majority Proclamation, all governments in the alliance territories are invited to brace up, take charge, and assume responsibility for the safety and economic welfare of their people, making appropriate legislations and regulations to step into roles previously denied them, or the fraudulent and now disputed 1999 Constitution, especially via the 68-item Federal Exclusive Legislative List in that 1999 Constitution, pending when formal transitional mechanisms are worked out. Power belongs to the people. Thank you for your attention. I've read this on behalf of Professor Banji Akintoye, the sitting chairman of the Nigerian Nationalities Alliance for Self-Determination. My name is Dr. Don Pedro Obaseki. I'm the president of the Midwest Movement of Nigeria, Edo and Delta State. Thank you. And I'm your colleague, so you have to be fair with me. I'm the past MD of that communication.
Now, question time. Moderate. Is it what?
You need the last one.
Please subscribe to Face TV Africa and turn the notification on. Face TV Africa, subscribe,
Face TV was Swoby.